got to be said. In this country, there's three factions in terms of politically speaking. You have Blue MAGA, you have MAGA, and you have the fake progressives slash liberals. I'm oversimplifying things. But my subscribers know that I've covered a lot of the insanity, the hypocrisy, the anti-American, and just corrupt nature and actions and events happening on the right, the Republican Party. Just absolutely disgusting, right? A lot of stuff that's been going on that side. And unfortunately, I got nowhere to run to, right? I'm not a conservative. And things on the right I find to be repulsive, to say the least, in terms of what's happening with the Republicans, the corrupt old guard being replaced by the even more corrupt, insane trolls. But as a person who leans left, I got no home, because the left in America are an absolute joke, 100%. I don't fit in with centrists because centrists basically, they're for status quo. They don't want to rock the boat. They think you don't understand how these things work, and there's a process, and incrementalism, and you got to be nice. Don't be mean. You don't want to upset the people that we put in power, right? So I can't fit in with that MSNBC crowd, that David Pakman crowd, that Brian Tyler Cohen crowd, that CNN crowd. I can't fit in with that crowd, right? And then you got the fake progressives, the TYTs and the majority reports, the people who, and I know I don't want to offend anyone, but I'm going to always tell it like it is. I know I have subscribers that like the squad, but I feel like my subscribers, even those who like the squad, are at least critical of them and not sort of worshiping them and idolizing them. But you have the people who are more on the progressive side. But to me, the majority report folks, these are the what I call the fake progressives. They are, and I know there's a lot of different elements. You have the people, and you have these entertainers. Like most of these political, pretty much all of them. I don't mean that literally, but you can almost say pretty much all of these. I gotta turn up this damn ring. All of these YouTubers, progressive content creators, they're entertainers, right? They're on this platform to make money through entertainment. They monetize the demise of this country. When it comes time to take direct action and to go out and organize and actually take action for change, for that progressive change that they say they're about, they're nowhere to be found. They're busy worrying about, Jimmy Dore and whatever. They're super, super quiet about, any kind of direct action events. They wait until after the events to then go and critique them, and it's the wrong people in there, and they didn't do it exactly the way. I sound like I need to turn it with that. Anyway, let's let that slide. Right? So they got more complaints about direct action and people actually going out there and fighting and putting pressure to demand that these politicians that we elect do what we elect them for, right? They got more energy to be critical of people who are actually going and taking some form of action, right? So I can't fit in with that, right? Although they may say a lot of things that I might agree with, it's entertainment value. They're content creators. They're just trying to chase the algorithm, trying to get those views. They're doing this for a living. If you're doing this for a living, you end up being a slave to the machine, right? because a very tiny fraction of these YouTubers has the skill necessary to be successful on talent alone. People just like to hear you, what you have to say, or you're really funny or whatever it is. That's a tiny fraction. That's almost no one has that ability. So these guys rely on the algorithm, right? They rely on the algorithm, even though they may complain about it and they have good reason to complain about it, but they rely on the algorithm to eat and put a roof over their heads, right? So that means their content is going to be sort of controlled by the machine. If the machine doesn't like what they're doing, they're going to get punished by getting view suppression, which is going to force them to modify what they're putting out to be more in line with what this website wants. Like if you're a scumbag, this is another group, by the way, I'm kind of jumping the gun, but if you're a scumbag like, what's his name, Brian Hinkle, Jackson Hinkle, right? The algorithm tells you, ooh, if you turn your channel into a Ukraine war channel, that's what's going to get you the most money and get you your views up and get you more exposure. And if you're an apologist who likes a very dishonest actor, entertainer, as Jackson Hinkle, then you will rationalize and say, well, ends justify the means, and you're going to put in your brain that the reason he's doing this is because of some noble thing. He's just trying to work with the system to get his views up so he can then go from a very dishonest entertainer to he's going to all of a sudden become an honest person and have a spine and actually start reporting with some kind of some kind of ethics behind it, as opposed to just doing whatever it takes to get his name out there, right? That's the idea. This is the same mentality that people who, elect these Democrats with this idea of what they're going to do, and then they don't do it. And then it's like, hey, they're not doing the stuff. And like, oh, well, you got to give them time. It takes time. And then you give them more time. You elect more of them. And you're like, hey, they're not delivering. And like, oh, well, you got to have patience and they can't just do it overnight. You're doing the same thing when you defend dishonest entertainers like Jackson Hinkle, who are just here, just like CNN and MSNBC and most of these, wherever you find your news. He is here for his own self-interest. He's not here for his viewers. He's not here for you. It's not a noble cause. He is here for himself, just like everyone else in this toxic business. In this country, our news media is very, very toxic. Right? So I can't hang with the fake progressives, right? And I'm not putting him with the fake progressives. Like I said, I jumped the gun. Then you have the blue MAGA, right? The blue MAGA are the Biden derangement syndrome folks, right? Every day it's the Dems suck, look what the Dems did, oh, look what Biden did, oh my goodness, Democrats, pretending like they actually care about these things, right? If they care about corruption, they care about the stuff the Democrats are doing, they would be equally talking about the Republicans who do the same things and many times actually worse, right? But if you're going to selectively complain about the Democrats only and not be complaining about their good friends, the Republicans, who they work closely with to prop up this duopoly, then you're part of the problem, right? The duopoly requires these silos, right? You have right-wing media that's just focused on Democrats, the left, right? And then you have this blue MAGA who's just like Democrats, left, whatever. And then you have on the other side, you got the fake progressives and the liberal media. Every day it's Trump, Republicans. So you got everyone in these little bubbles, and nothing's getting done, right? Which brings us to the inspiration for today's video, where I just have to be honest, man. My channel will always be small. I'm not here for the views. I'm not here for fame. I'm not here to tell people what they want to hear. I know that, saying stuff like this is not going to be appreciated. I'm going to piss off a lot of people. A lot of people aren't going to want to accept the truth. There are people who idolize some of these frauds that I'm calling out. They're not going to want to hear this. They're going to come with a little apology. Oh, this and that. And, unlike CNN, they're honest about their bias and all the, apology stuff, right? They're going to defend the squad. Everyone picks somebody who, who they want to idolize and act as an apologist for and provide cover for. But The Democrats are right now rigging the election. They sit on their asses when it comes to things that they ran on. Always excuses. Vote harder. You don't understand how this works. We're doing things behind the scenes and you don't know what we're doing behind the scenes, right? That's how they deal with stuff that they ran on. But when it comes to a third party, like the Green Party, trying to get involved in this political process, all of a sudden these Democrats who some of these fake progressives like to make excuses for, and they like when you see people, I want you to remember this. Whenever you listen to any like left-wing channels, progressive channels, and they tell you stuff like the Democrats are inept, the Democrats are stupid, they're dumb, recognize that you're listening to someone who is helping to perpetuate the very duopoly that I'm speaking about, right? A lot of these Democrats are Ivy League school graduates. They are not idiots. If they want to get something done, they know how to get it done. Like, for example, look at something that Democrats do want to get done and contrast it with things that they claim they want to get done, but they don't really want to get done. Democrats really want to make sure that third parties fail. All of a sudden, when it comes to third parties, the Democrats, as you can see, they're not, what's the word people are using? They're not cowards. They're not stupid. They don't lack strategy or tactics, right? And they don't have excuses. When it comes time to something that they want, which is for third parties to fail, they've got strategy, they've got motivation, and they don't have the excuses anymore, right? They're not cowards. They're not stupid. They don't lack strategy. They don't want the things that people think they want. That's the problem. They're not so-called failing because they don't know any better. The things that you think they're failing at, they're not failing at. You know how much money Nancy Pelosi has? What her net worth is? You call that failing? Hundreds of millions of dollars? All the power these people have? You think that AOC is failing $180,000 a year? Will she have like 12 million followers or something ridiculous? You call that failing? They're not failing. The only people failing are us. And in particular, the left is a joke in this country. That's who's failing. How are the left failing? What is the inspiration for this video? What got me heated to where I had to make this video? Democrats are right now rigging an election. Green Party candidate did what they're supposed to do to get on the ballot. That's how the democracy is supposed to work. Democrats always talking about democracy, 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 right? They successfully did exactly what I keep telling people on the left. I keep telling them, these people who want to apologize for the squad and say we don't understand and it's a process. This is the same stuff I keep telling you. This is what needs to be done to get these things done. And I'm people telling me, no, no, no. This is proof. The way that you succeed politically is can't stop, won't stop, get it, get it. You've got a plan A, plan B, plan C. You just won't stop. Whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you got to keep pushing. You have this plan, that plan. People are going to get sick and tired of hearing you talking about the things that you're trying to accomplish. And that's not your approach. You're wasting your time. There is massive failures in this country. We have a massive machine that you're competing with. And you have no hope of competing against that machine unless you come to war. It's got to be multiple plans, resilient. You got to keep pushing. And that's what the Democrats do when they want to do something, like keep a third party off the ballot, because they tried one thing, it didn't work. They tried something else, it didn't work, until they finally got something that worked. They basically oversimplifying it. They basically sat down and said, this looks kind of shady, whatever, and kicked this guy off the ballot. So why is the left a joke? While the Democrats are pushing out third parties, where is the left fighting and resisting and pushing back? Where's the people in the streets saying, you can't do this? I see right-wingers in the street talking about masks. Meanwhile, the Democrats can kick off a third-party candidate, and we got left-wingers, leftists on YouTube making videos about, fake progressives. Let's talk about the fake progressives. Right? Little YouTube beefs. And then if they hear this video, they're going to talk about, we did this little thing and that little thing. Bullshit. You can't succeed if they could do this right in the open and there's no massive backlash. Where the hell are the left? Where's the protests? Where's the boycotts? Look at how Pelosi got to be still in power. Where was the resistance? They did force the vote and then they went to sleep. I ain't seen no fire since forced to vote. Build Back Better had most of the stuff that Biden ran on, yet these same people will be on YouTube every day complaining about, rightfully so, that the Democrats ran on these things and they're not delivering it. Well, a lot of the stuff was in Build Back Better, but ain't nobody fought for it. They will quickly make money from calling out the Democrats after the fact about how they failed to deliver. But in that moment, where we had a crossroad, 10 years of going backwards under Republican rule, or fight for this bill that's not the best bill, fight for it like we fought for forced to vote. They chose content. Let's make videos about the fake progressives, right? We're not going to take to the streets. We're not going to do direct action. We're going to make content because we're entertainers. We're going to do what CNN does, what MSNBC does. Pander to our audience. Basically validate their beliefs, make them feel good. You're in the good side, right? Unlike those idiots on the other side, right? Let me tell you about how much better our side is than the other side, right? We're the real left. Those are the fake lefts. Or the left is better. The right wingers, those are bad, right? Everybody want to put, we're in the better camp. Where was the fight from the left for Build Back Better? Where is the fight from the left? Democrats rigging the election right now, kicking off third parties. The duopoly doesn't care about us, man. Democrats, Republicans, they don't care about us. Third party is one of the few things that we have right now where there's an ability for us to actually progress, right? We're not going to get saved by no Democrats and no Republicans. Third party is an option. And yet those who claim to be the real, whatever label they want to put, what are they doing about the Democrats rigging an election, closing that door? Are you really about change and progress, or are you a YouTube entertainer about content creation? Because if you're really about change, you would be in the streets or pushing in the streets right now, making the loudest noise possible. People got big platforms, lots of followers. How are you utilizing that platform to push back against the Democrats, rigging an election, pushing out a third party, knowing that a third party is a potential avenue that we have for progress? And even those who recognize that the third party is a potential path to success and progress. Again, politics in America is an absolute joke. There are those who would recognize that third party is the way, and would push for a third party, let a third party win, and then let that third party become the new Democratic Party, the new Republican Party, meaning they would fight to get a third party in power and then naively act as if that third party is somehow immune from the power of money, act as if they are incorruptible. They would push to get the third party in power, then they would sit back in a coma like they are right now. We've won, we got a third party in power. And then you let the elites slowly and surely start capturing that third party. Hey man, I like what you're trying to do, but you can't go so far without money, right? We've got the money and we'll help you out. One by one, the journey from Pelosi being a AOC back in the day to what she is today. Watch that third party get everybody all excited. Yeah, progress. And then they go back to brunch. And then years in the future, we look back and we say, man, this third party, you remember the Democratic Party before they failed? Remember that party called the Democratic Party, that corrupt Democratic Party? This new third party, well, what was a third party? They feel to me just like the Democrats were back in the day. In this country, we don't seem to recognize how corrupt the system is, how corrupted this country is by corporate interests, that the only way to succeed, again, is a can't stop, won't stop, get it, get it. People held their noses, elected Biden, talk about pushing him left. Then when he's in power, dragging his heels, rather than fighting and pushing and getting to the streets from the get-go. We elected you to do X, Y, and Z. When is it going to start? No, people dragging their heels, they get quiet, they want to do fighting with each other, left versus left. Ain't nobody was pushing Biden left. The people who I might align with the most in terms of the rhetoric were more focused on calling out the fake progressives than they were about pushing these Democrats to do what they ran on. That's the same attitude that would happen with a third party. If we got a revolution going and pushed the third party into power, quickly people would drop their guards. The system will always default to corruption via corporate interests. To make an analogy, it's a skateboard. Our country is a skateboard, not an electric one. Kick, push, kick, push. You jump on the skateboard, you're cruising along at a good speed, you're enjoying the breeze going by and looking at the sights and you're getting into your thing. But sooner or later, gravity and friction are going to bring this ride to an end. You got to keep kicking. Just because you might be cruising in the moment, that doesn't mean anything. You elect someone who you're excited about, you feel good in that moment. The fight doesn't stop at that point. You have to keep fighting. You get them in power. Now you got to make sure they're doing their job. And if they're not doing their job, it's time to hit the streets. It's time to boycott. It's time to take some direct action. It's time to do something about it. But we don't get that. We do our run up, we jump on the board, we cruise for a little bit. Like a lot of people in this country who voted for Biden and then they got on the skateboard and they just cruising along like, okay, we got Trump out, now we cruising. Not realizing their speed is dipping and dipping and dipping and dipping. And now we're stuck in the mud. right? And it's the same thing. I'll give you another perspective with the squad. The squad has a perfect scam running right now because of this dynamic in this country. Let me tell you this: how the squad, the power that they have. The squad can do basically nothing at all, deliver on nothing at all, make no efforts at all, and still survive. All they got to do is a little something, something here and there. So imagine Joe Biden elected for a 4-year term. Squad talking a lot of talk. When it comes to action, not really delivering anything. Maybe over time, people start saying, man, this squad, they're a fraud. They're not really doing anything. Well, all they got to do is get up and say, okay, we gotta put some more fuel on this fire, right? The fire's getting a little dim. All they got to do is do a little something. It doesn't matter how small it is. They could get on the news and like AOC get on the news and say, the Democratic leadership needs to do better. The American people, blah, 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 blah. So just even the fact that they would speak so aggressively against Democratic leadership openly like that on a major news network, that alone is like, oh, well, they're trying, Even better if they could have something under their belt where they did a little something, something. Like, for example, the Cori Bush thing, right? So you could sit on your butt for like 3 years, not doing anything. And then in a moment when you see a lot of people getting evicted, you could just sit there and say, okay, we're not really trying to do anything. But this could be an opportunity for us to get back into good graces with our base. And then you wait till the last minute, and then all of a sudden you're like, as if you just discovered it. Oh, people are being evicted. We got it. We're gonna protest, and then you do a little protest, right? Sleep on the steps, right? And then let's say that supposedly leads to some change. We're gonna give some more time for people to, we're gonna extend the eviction moratorium or whatever it is. You take your pictures, you take your video. That will get you goodwill for another couple years, maybe. The reason that works is because you have a lot of people that are just really naive in this country that believe in the hopes and dreams and pixie dust. And they just want to believe in who they want to believe. And you got people who want to believe in Trump. They want to believe in Bernie. They want to believe in Marianne Wilson, whatever her name is, Williamson or whatever. They want to believe in AOC, whoever it is, right? And since they want to believe in these people so much, they idolize them. All it takes is a little little speck of dust. And they will jump right on and say, see, look what they did. Don't tell me they're not doing nothing. Look what they did. They were protesting in the streets. They slept on the steps. And they got something done. We would have wanted more, but it's something. And you got to understand how it works, right? They can't always be fighting. They got to, there's a way that politics works and you don't understand. There's relationship building and blah, 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 blah. There's power dynamics. Because you have millions of people that with that mindset, you can sit on your ass, do nothing, do barely anything, and still survive politically by just every once in a while. It's kind of like a drug dealer to a crack addict, right? Every once in a while, you give them a little free sample, right? Just when they run out of money and they thinking about, I should stop taking this crack. I should stop doing this, right? You go and you say, hey, man, I got a little sample for you, man. I got a little sample for you. Try this, man. You know you want this. Just take just a little. I can't give you a whole bunch of it. This stuff is expensive. I'm taking a lot of risk here. But here's take a little sniff, right? And then instantly, I need more. They right back on. That's how they play you, man. All AOC and the squad need to do is just give the voters just a little sniff every once in a while. And then every time they fail us, the apologists in the millions will come out and remind us about that little sniff they gave us. That's BS. The only way you're going to get progress in this country, I'm going to say it again, can't stop, won't stop, get it, get it. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, Plan D. 110%, you have to go to war. And if you're not on those terms, if that's not how you roll, you're playing yourself. Or at least you're playing the people that believe in you. This country is far too corrupt. The machine is far too powerful, serving those corporate interests for anything less than war. So whoever it is you believe in, whether it's these content creators or it's the squad or it's Bernie or whoever it is, you think Marianne Wilson trying to sell her books, you think she gonna do it? If any of these people are not prepared to go to war, and I'm not talking about violence, I'm talking about can't stop, won't stop, get it, get it. Unless they talking like that, they're not serious. I can't see anything else succeeding. The swamp is too powerful. The machine is too powerful. The duopoly, the decades-old duopoly scam is too powerful. The corrupt propaganda machine in left-wing and right-wing media, independent and corporate alike, is too powerful for any half-stepping. It's guns blazing, I don't mean that literally. All out. I don't want to hear no excuses. When is it going to get done? How is it get done? Who's doing it? Why is this not working? Okay, we got to change the plan. We need another plan. What's the next plan? Okay, this plan ain't working. Let's do something else. Why are we going this way? Skateboard. Kick, push, kick, push. Can't stop, won't stop. Anything less is bullshit. Keep idolizing and following these entertainers on YouTube, the Jimmy Dore and the Jackson Hinkle and the Majority Report and the Humanist Report and the David Pakman and Brian Tyler Cohen and the CNN and the MSNBC, all these people that are monetizing the demise of this country while selling you a bag of goods. Fake revolution. People don't want to go out and fight. They don't want to take any action. So they sit in these echo chambers, feel like they're doing something. Right? Oh, I'm going to watch this video. Oh, he's roasting those fake progressives. Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah, Trump. Yeah, tell me about Trump. What did Trump do? Oh, yeah, he's going to go to jail. We're going to finally get Trump in jail. General right-wing media, oh, the left is going crazy. They're going too far. Oh, they're socialists and they're trying to ruin this country and blah, blah, blah. They're so irrational. But you're part of the good squad. You're on the conservative side, rational side, unlike those other people. You're being gaslit. Partisan media, left-wing, right-wing, is gaslighting you. They're making money, monetizing the demise of this country. The more chaos, the more money they make. That's why they ain't fighting for no Build Back Better. That's why they're not fighting right now against the Democrats, rigging an election, pushing out a third-party candidate. Where's the protest? Right-wingers in the streets talking about, we ain't gonna vote for you. We don't want no masks, we don't want no lockdowns. We believe the election is stolen. They in the streets Where's the left? Biggest movement that we have that we could say left, associated with the left. Black Lives Matter, captured by capitalists, running around saying the same thing over and over again. I don't see the specific demands. I don't see the consequences if those demands aren't met. And what was the result? Mansions were bought. And the same people on the left who would agree with me on that, what are you doing right now? Where's your movement? Where's your direct action saying this is not right? We got to expose the Democrats. Mainstream media is not talking about how they steal an election, pushing out third parties. We're going to utilize our platforms. We're going to unite and utilize our platform to make a loud noise and let as many people as possible know what the Democrats just did. We're going to do whatever it takes. We're going to do direct action. Where is that? Where's the fight? There's no fight. They're going to make more videos about the fake progressives. They're going to make more videos about Biden this, Biden that. Oh, the liberals. Oh, look what the liberals are doing. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to be in the streets because they're not about that life. They're about the clicks, the followers, the AdSense dollars. YouTube entertainers. Had to be said. I'm sorry I missed out on the chat. What's up, Andrew? What's up, that's not funny? I don't know what he's responding to. What do we call this? Like I said, this video is not going to get a lot of views. I'm going to get angry comments. It is what it is. And that's the difference between someone who's about something and someone who's here for their own self-interest. Right? If I'm here for my own self-interest, I don't make videos like this that I know just going to piss off people. Who's my friend in this video? Conservatives don't want to hear me talking about the BS that they've been enabling on their side. So they're not going to be my friend on this. It's not going to make them happy. The left is not going to want me calling out their BS. The progressive, fake progressives, the so-called leftists, all I'm making is enemies with a video like this. I don't make any money on this. The algorithm is not going to like this, so I'm not going to get any views. There's people complain about the algorithm, but they're getting views though, right? This is not going to get views because this is not the type of content YouTube wants. YouTube wants me to do videos about Trump every day to an audience that likes that kind of stuff, or make videos about the Democrats all day to an audience that likes that stuff. There's no massive demand for people saying what I'm saying right now. Nobody wants to be told that the things they believe in might actually be wrong. They want me to come on here and tell them, oh, you're on the good side. We're on the good side, unlike those other people. Sorry. I'm the most disloyal YouTuber on this platform. I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to make anybody feel good. So I'm always telling it like it is. This is Baby Challenge in the conversation. We're putting the like button. No principle, not personality. 100% be good. Had to be said.